ॐ कृष्णो रक्षतु नो जगत्त्रयगुरुः कृष्णं नमस्याम्यहम् कृष्णेनामरशत्रवो विनिहताः कृष्णाय तुभ्यं नमः। कृष्णादेव समुत्थितं जगदिदं कृष्णस्य दासोऽस्म्यहम् कृष्णे तिष्ठति सर्वमेतदखिलं हे कृष्ण रक्षस्व माम्। Here we are at this Vibhuti Yoga, the 10th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Geeta, where we must not forget the whole idea of seeing Lord's glories in every category, in every domain, in every sphere of this entire creation is all about our being able to appreciate His greatness for what? For the purpose of our being able to surrender to Him. The most beautiful verse at the end of Bhagavad Gita in the 18th chapter says, Tameva sharanam gaccha sarva bhavena bharata tat prasadat param shantim sthanam prapsasi shashvatam. Couple of verses before the otherwise well-known sarva dharman parityajya, Sri Krishna says to Arjuna, surrender to him in all respects. Tam eva sharanam gaccha sarva bhavena. Some of us might intellectually appreciate God, but our heart is somewhere else. Some people have all heart going towards God, but they don't know enough about God. That also, in its own way, restricts and constricts, constrains the bhakti. Sarva bhaven, when we totally think of God, remember God, make our life centered in God, which is not easy, then it is that we come upon supreme peace, param shanti, sthanam shashvatam prapsyasi. We have adapted some shlokas of Bhagavad Gita into a kind of a prayer from our side to God. Please see, there are many shlokas on which we have done a little work like this. The shloka in the Gita says, Tameva Sharanam Gaccha. Surrender to him. Sri Krishna is saying to Arjuna. But we convert it, adapt it with apologies to Vyasa. Tvameva Sharanam Yami. I take refuge in you. Sarva Bhavena Sadguru. You may address God or Guru. If you are a Shiva Bhakta, you may say Sarva Bhavena Shankara. If you are a Vishnu Bhakta, Sarva Bhavena Madhava or Keshava. There is a little metrical adjustment required. So, for a change, let me say Sadguru. Tvameva Sharanam Yami Sarva Bhavena Sadguru. Tvat Prasadat Param Shantim Sthanam Prapsyami Shashvatam. I surrender to you wholeheartedly and in all respects. And by your grace, O revered Lord, I will attain lasting peace, and the supreme eternal abode. With that purpose in mind, the 10th chapter has to be looked at with proper understanding. More we realize that God is everywhere, in every category. We see God as the best, as the most excellent, as surpassingly beautiful. That brings about an attitudinal change in us. The light of it now, in this class, we shall take up verse number 32 onwards. For in the last class, which I guess was 222nd class, we had covered the shlokas 29, 30, and 31. Now we come to 32. What is this 32? Here, Sarganam Adirantascha Madhyam Chaivahamarjuna Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam Vada Pravadatamaham. The immediate previous verse was Pavana Pavatamasmi. Maybe we did not explain it in detail. Of all forces or factors that purify us, I am air, I am wind, said Sri Krishna. This I think we commented on. And Ramanavami was around the corner last week. And the 31st verse said, Ramaha Shastra Bhritamaham. Of those who hold weapons, I am Rama. Sri Krishna is saying, I am Rama. And Rama somewhere would say, I am Krishna. I will come in the next yuga. Rama is Krishna, Krishna is Rama, and devotees of Ramakrishna Paramahansa in Kolkata, I mean, devotees are everywhere. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa lived in Kolkata. They say, and Ramakrishna himself had said this, acknowledged, the one who came as Rama and the one who came as Krishna has now come as Ramakrishna at Dakshineshwar. So, coming back to Rama, son of Dasharatha, Vibhuti Yoga says, Shastra Bhritamaham. Especially among all his various weapons which he was good at, he was excellent at, his arrow has both literal and symbolic significance. Literally, no one can escape Rama's arrow once it is released with the target in mind. Rama's arrow is invincible, unfailing, amogha. Mogha means that which fails. Vyartha. Amogha means it will never be a waste. Once it leaves the bow of Sri Rama, it will go and hit the target, wherever the target, whoever it is, anywhere in the three worlds. Ramabana. Symbolically, as all of you know, Ramabana, the arrow of Rama, is considered symbolically, idiomatically, the sure remedy to any problem. If you and I have problem of impurity of mind, for example, we have issue of Chitta Shuddhi, let us say, a sadhaka. Once in a while you find very well placed, rich, and from a distance you see them enviably enjoying life. But they have so much of issues. of likes, dislikes, anger, ambition, greed, and so on. That is Chitta Ashuddhi. It is said one Ramabana, symbolic. Rama's arrow for your impurities in the mind is more and more Namasmarana. Namasmaranadhanyopayo nahi nahi bhavatarane. In crossing this ocean of worldly existence, there is no other solution in this yuga especially than Namasmarana. Namasmaranad anya upayah na asti bhavatarane. There is a beautiful shloka which is a part of a poem. Rama Hare Krishna Hare Tava Nama Vadami Sadandra Hare. Then the Dashavatara, the 10 incarnations of Vishnu are described in the stotra. In that it begins that way. Namasmarana Anyopayo Nahi Nahi Vidyate Bhavatarane, something like that. So Ramabana for various issues. Even in simple medicine, suppose you have some stomach ache, you have some headache, then a friend of yours says, "Oh, why are you worried? Take this." This is the Ramabana for the ailment that you have. Zashanam Makaraschasmi. Particular creature, maybe crocodile, maybe alligator. I remember I spoke a little on this, but no harm. Quickly summarizing, of various aquatic creatures, including fish. I am the crocodile. Srotasamasmi Jannavi. Here I must add. Of all rivers, I am Ganga. And I explained, I remember, how Jannavi, that name came to Ganga. For a rishi called Jannu, angry at the devastation caused by the furious Ganga as she passed through his ashram, destroying and demolishing the structures over there and causing so much suffering to people and animals and others. He just drank the whole Ganga. Ganga disappeared into his inside. And when Bhagirath prayed, "Please forgive Ganga, please forgive me, who brought her this way?" Jannu released Ganga through his ear, it is said. Through right ear or left ear? One of you may do research and find out. Through the ear, through one of his ears. Then she got the name Janhavi, written as Jahnavi, but I believe to be pronounced as Janhavi. I talked about it last time. The symbolic meaning I think I did not mention. Ganga symbolically is any spiritual practice. Ganga is any study. Ganga is any submission to Guru or God, which cleanses us. When you sing next time the famous Ganga Stuti or Stotra, Devi Sureshwari Bhagavati Gange Tribhuvana Tarini Jargatange. There's a wonderful in the Chinmaya headquarters in Powai, Mumbai, every evening there is Jagadishwar Arati, Venugopala Arati, and also Ganga Arati. Some 20 minutes, brahmacharis, teachers, other devotees gather in front of the sanctum sanctorum and sing Veda mantras, and then at the end, Devi Sureshwari Bhagavati Gange, Tribhuvanatarini. Like that, it goes very rhythmic. The whole stotra, if you look at it, I won't go into it now, can be interpreted in symbolic manner. Oh Ganga, oh spiritual practice of any kind, Nama Japa, chanting Vishnu Sahasranama, just being in the company of wise, pure-hearted people, that acts as Ganga. Go to Dakshineshwar, sit in the room where Sri Ramakrishna lived, just for some time. Let your mind go anywhere. Let your mind go haywire, never mind. Just be there for some time. Sri Ramakrishna's influence will cleanse you. Go to Sri Ramanashram, Tiruvannamalai. Go to the old hall where for maximum length of time Ramana Maharshi used to sit. It's not a very big hall. Maybe some 30 people can sit. That's about it. And some of you may know in Tampa, Florida, a devotee, Ratina Swami and Kalyanamati, this couple, have built a wonderful replica of the old hall of Tiruvannamalai Sri Ramanashram. From outside and inside, you will feel that the old hall of Ramanashram has come here. And to add to its charm, they have brought from Tiruvannamalai one little brick from the original old hall. When the old hall was being renovated, they prayed perhaps, or was available. They bought one brick, and that one brick is placed in the floor of the replica look-alike of the old hall in Florida, incidentally. But I am giving the symbolic meaning of Jannavi, that is Ganga. If you sit and pray, try to meditate. Don't say, I try to meditate, but I get sleep. That's what happened to me in 1990. I tried to meditate in the old hall and I was feeling sleepy. I almost fell on another guy. Then I said, this is dangerous. If I fall on this man here on my right side, if I fall on this lady who was sitting at the right side, left side, this is terrible. I could not meditate even 5 minutes those days. Then I got up and crossed the river and for the first time discovered the library of Sri Ramanashram. And once I went into the library and started looking at the magazines and books and collections, I tell you, in the meditation hall I could not sit for 5 minutes, but here 2 hours passed and I didn't feel sleepy even for a moment. That's what they call Swadharma. When you are into your Swadharma, time flies. When you are into something for which at that time you may not be ready, today I am much more comfortable in long meditations also. But at that time, 33-year-old, I was not able to sit quietly like that. So, I'm giving two examples, and 100 other examples can be taken. Go to any holy place, Anandamayi Maas Ashram at many places. There are lady saints, there are men saints, there are living saints. Go and be in the presence of Mata Amritanandamayi, the hugging mother. I had the privilege of meeting her and getting hugged by her 3 times. All the 3 times in the USA only. In India, the crowds are too much. So all that is Jannavi. For that satsanga, that being present in the presence of saints, purifies us. Some of you may say lastly, oh, I have met so many saints, sat for hours in their presence, but still I remain impure. Don't underestimate. Sometimes, number one, if you had not met those saints, maybe you would have been 10 times more impure. Number two, sometimes the effect of the punya karma that you have done, you have gone to temples, holy places, holy women and men, you have read Vishnu Sahasranama, you have prayed at places. That is punya karma. You have served the poor, you have donated to good causes. That punya karma sometimes takes its own time to bear fruit. Don't be impatient. Lastly, in the context of Ganga, symbolically meaning anything that purifies, in Bhajagovindam you have a line. Ganga Jalalava Kanika Pita Bhagavad Geetā Kinchidadhita Ganga Jalalava Kanika Pita Sakradapiyena Murari Samarcha Kriyate Tasya Yamena na Charcha Bhaja Govindam Ganga Jalalava Kadika Pita, even a drop of Ganga to drink, then you will have no fight, no argument, no trouble, no hassle with Yama. That means you are facing ahead towards immortality. Yama is not the outer Yama, it is the living in compromise, living in negative thoughts, living in low self-esteem, living in regret and guilt and shame. All that is coming into the clutches of Yama. Whereas if you purify your mind through spiritual practices, even great adversities that come in your life will not shake you. You will stay calm. You will go through whatever you have to go through, prarabdha, and you remain balanced. So now, as I always do, I read the 32nd verse, but then started reviewing the 31st verse. Thank God I am not going to 30th verse now, saying I have something to say about that again. Sargana Madirantascha Madhyam Chaivaham Arjuna Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam Vada Pravadatamaham. You remember that in the 20th verse of this 10th chapter, with a bang, Vibhutis were begun. And that verse which Ramana Maharshi selected as the one verse to be selected of all the 700, Aham, Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarva Bhuta Shaya Stiraha Aham Adishcha Madhyancha Bhutana Manta Evacha. That referred to, as Shankaracharya also puts it in his Bhāshya, that refers to living beings. In the heart of every creature, be it an ant or be it an elephant, I am in their heart. I am in their heart of everyone. There the expression was used, Adihi Madhyam Antaha, beginning, middle and end. Here too, Sarganam Adihi, Sarganam Madhyam, Sarganam Antaha. So the reference here is not to individual beings, entire cycles of creation. Satya Yoga, Treta Yoga, Dwapara Yoga, Kali Yoga. Again Satya Yoga, again Treta Yoga, again Dwapara Yoga, again Kali Yoga. Again Krita Yoga, again Treta Yoga, again Dwapara Yoga, again Kali Yoga. Like this, Sarganam, the Bahuvachanam, plural, is indicative of the repetitive or the recurring nature of creation. Therefore, in Hinduism, creation is God's recreation. Recreation is God's way of recreation. He creates again and again. And in this entire creation or creations, God is ever with the creation, never takes leave, never goes on a vacation somewhere else. God is always into it. Creation is co-equal with God. That is significance. Now, a very charming line for you and me who have been studying Adhyatma Vidya. It is said here, Adhyatma Vidya, Vidyana. Of all forms of study, learning, acquiring knowledge, the greatest one and the most divine one is spiritual studies. Blessed you are that Tuesday after Tuesday, if it's in the Western Hemisphere, Wednesday after Wednesday, if it's in East, you are studying the Bhagavad Gita. Blessed I am to teach Bhagavad Gita week after week, because as Shankaracharya clarifies in his commentary, no other Vidya gives you liberation from this limited, constrained, restricted, painful, miserable existence. From a distance, everything looks good. Yesterday, somebody met me. He said he met some young couple 2 years ago when they just had married, and everything looked hunky dory. Everything was so wonderful. Oh, what a pretty bride. Oh, what a handsome groom. And they both have very good jobs, and they both come from great, well, prosperous families, and they both are so talented, both are so qualified, they are in some very good part of the world. Wow, wow, wow. Everything looks so beautiful. But after 2 years, something or the other, they got a child who has some health problem from birth onwards. The young couple are much troubled. Oh God, everything was so good. Why have you given us a child with these health issues constant, whatever it is? That is what human life is. From a distance, everybody's life is great, or at least the life of a great many people. Large number of people look simply enviable, nothing less. But go near. Many unmarried people think, oh, we should have married. Look at them, how happy they are. Many married people look at these bachelors, men or women. Oh my God, they have saved themselves from so much trouble. I should have remained unmarried like her, like him. For the grass on the other side looks greener. But actually, the simple truth is bachelors or married people, people with children or without children, people with lot of bank balance or people whose bank balance is going below the minimum required, all have their own troubles, or everything is impermanent. Everything comes and goes. A tourist who had not done enough study of the guidebooks, etc., whose general knowledge was poor, ended up in Washington, D.C. and saw the beautiful house of the President of the United States. He didn't even know that this is White House, this is President's house. He just, how he ended up there, we don't know. But he was aghast or surprised. He asked the local person, hey, this house looks very beautiful. Who stays here? And the local person had attended some Vedanta classes, it looks like. The local person stared into the eyes of the visitor. What? You are asking me who stays here? Nobody stays here. After a pause, the local guy said, Nobody stays here. Everybody comes and goes. Some come and stay for 4 years and go. Some come and stay for 8 years and go. But nobody stays forever. Everybody comes and goes. What a wonderful way. And listening to that, you and I should get Vairagya. Is there anything in the world which we can hold, saying, this will give me happiness for all time to come? Rama, Rama. There is no such thing. Therefore, it is Adhyatma Vidya, which, if not soon, may be late. Later, if not sooner, preferably sooner than later. Let it take its own time, but Adhyatma Vidya will set us free from all hassles because that's what moksha is all about. Old or young, sick or healthy, wealthy or poor, doesn't matter. External conditions don't matter for enjoying the fruit of Adhyatma Vidya. Sarvatha Vartamanopi, says Bhagavad Geetā. Living in any condition, settled in a developed country with all conveniences maybe, or living in a village where some basic necessities are often discontinued, basic facilities, basic amenities suddenly are taken off you. No electricity for next 12 hours. The panchayat sends a notice. Oh, water will not be available for next 8 hours with the advance notice or sometimes without notice also. And you are in such a place. But Adhyatma Vidya blesses you with moksha. Yeah, little pinch you will suffer. You will also feel inconvenienced. You are called guests home for snacks and tea, but water is not coming in the tap. And very little water is in your whatever aquaguard or some purifying equipment. Oh. But then, as Swami Chinmayananji often said in all such situations, don't sink in despair, do the best and leave the rest. Do the best and leave the rest. What a wonderful advice. You must find out what best can be done and just do it. Don't waste any more time and energy in, oh, why did this happen to me only? This should have happened to the neighbor at least today. So we'll see in the Bhāshya, Shankara saying, it gives moksha, no other vidya. You may say, I have got a PhD from Massachusetts Institute of Technology in the latest artificial intelligence research. God bless you. But even your PhD in AI cannot give you liberation from sorrow, from frustration, from some kind of heartburn at some point of life. But study Adhyatma Vidya. As Yama says to Nachiketa, Uttishtata, Jagrata, Prapya Varan, Nibodhata. In the world, the first half of that mantra or the first quarter of that mantra is more popular. Uttishtata, Jagrata. Get up, get going. Because that appeals to people more easily. But the second quarter, Prapya Varan Nibodhata, is more important for students like you and me. Get up and get going. Do what? Go to competent teachers who are not just orators, who are not just public speakers, who are not just professional, pravachanakas, who are not going around to collect dakshina and build a bigger house and get more air conditions in their house or such things, who are rather not interested in fame and name, who are rather not interested in wealth and comforts, who have certain insights into the marma, into the secrets of Adhyatma Vidya. They have had glimpses of those truths that Gita talks about, and they are going around sharing their joy in the Upanishads, in the Gita, with audiences that may be 100 or 1,000, or at places that may be 10 or 20. They don't care. For them, the joy of sharing spiritual wisdom is all that matters. Whether they get tons of dakshina, offerings from devotees, or all they get is a hearty meal and a cup of tea before leaving, it doesn't matter to them. They move on. To go to such people, Prapya Varam Nibodhatha, know the truth, know Adhyatma Vidya. Then what AI, PhD in AI could not give you, you will get through Adhyatma Vidya. The third and the last in this 32nd verse says, Vadaha pravadatam aham. Pravadatam. Those who are debating, those who are arguing between each other, those who are questioning each other. And there are three kinds of such argumentation. They are called Vada, Jalpa, and Vitanda. Let me read out or translate for you how every Tippankar gives this. I have been using SSS. SSS means Swami Satchidanandendra Saraswati, a great erudite, very devoted scholar of Vedanta who lived up to 1975 year. Oh, great volumes and volumes he brought out. Unfortunately, most of it is in Kannada script, but some works are in English, some works are in Sanskrit also. So he says, Jalpa is the worst one. Jalpa is one kind of argumentation where your only purpose is to defeat the other fellow. You don't care even for truth. You want to be victorious and the other person should lose. The other person should break his teeth or break his he should have an injury and just go quit. Jalpa is a form of argument where, let's say, you are on one side, your only purpose is to defeat the other fellow, whether on the ground of truth or untruth, but the other fellow accepts defeat and walks away with head going, head going down, bowing down. Now there is a second one which is called Vitanda. There also, Vitanda, SSS says, when you are doing Vitanda, second kind of Pravada, you are not at all focusing on throwing light on your position. You don't touch upon your position. You just listen to what the philosophical or other kind of position the opponent has and you just want to criticize. Condemn the opposition's belief, their philosophy, their stand. Condemn it. And if they ask, what is your position in this matter? I'll come to it later, but what you say is utter nonsense. And so on. Vitanda, both are terrible. Jalpa and Vitanda are really terrible. One, you want to win over the other person. In the second, you want to find fault endlessly with the other person's school of thought. But then there may be many more, but here of the three. In the third one, you are neither interested in defeating other person, nor are you worried about you are getting defeated. It's not about victory and defeat. It's about finding out the truth. Tattva nirnayaya ya charcha kriyate. That charcha, that discussion, where preferably both sides, if not both sides, at least you on your part, are sincerely concerned with determining the truth of the matter, whether it was said by the other person or by you. She said or you said doesn't matter. What is the truth of the matter? Let us find it out. So that is called vada. So jalpa and vitanda are to be put aside and we must go for vada. Of jalpa, vitanda and vada, there are three forms of pravada or pravadana. I am vada. Quickly we see now the Shankara Bhāshya Sarganam Srishtinam Adihi Antasya Madhyancha Eva Aham Utpatti Sthiti Layah Aham Arjuna. I am Utpatti, rising, Sthiti, staying, and Laya, the ending of creation cycles. Bhutanam Jiva Adhishtitanam Eva Adihi Antasya Ityadi Uktam Upakrame. At the beginning, Upakrama means at the beginning of the Vibhuti Yoga, where in the 20th verse to be precise, the glories began, mentioning the glories began, Upakrame. The Adi, Madhya and Anta were mentioned of Bhutana, Jiva Adhishtitana, living beings, where the spark of life presides over the body-mind equipment. Whereas Ihatu here Sarvasya eva sargamatrasya iti vishesha. Entire creation, charachara, hills and rivers and five elements, their numerous combinations and expressions. We explained why plural, because many cycles. Shankaracharya doesn't talk about the plural. Adhyatma Vidya, there he gives a simple explanation. Vidyanam, of all branches and forms and kinds of knowledge, Mokshartatva pradhanamasmi. Adhyatma Vidya is meant for moksha, liberation, which is Paramananda Prapti, attainment of the supreme everlasting bliss, and Dukkasya Atyantika Nivritti, ending of sorrow for good. And then Vadaha Artha Nirnaya Hetutvat Pravadatam Pradhanam Ataha Sahahamasmi. As I have said, Vada of the three, Vada, Jalpa and Vitanda, Vada is the kind where I said Tattva Nirnaya to determine the truth of the matter, and here it is Artha Nirnaya, the same thing. Pravaktra Dwarena Vadana Bhedanam eva Vada Jalpa Vitandanam iha Grahanam Pravadatam. Somebody is speaking, somebody is arguing, somebody is rallying his arguments for or against a matter of Vedanam. Vadana is speaking. Vadana is not face here. Somewhere Gajavadana, one who has face of elephant. But Vadana here is the act of speaking. Vadati iti Vadanam. Vadana Bhedanam, of many kinds of speaking, arguing, etc. Vada Jalpa Vitandanam, there are three mostly talked about. I am Vada because the Vada, the focus is on Artha Nirnaya. How beautiful. Therefore, this Vibhuti Yoga is not to be underestimated as there is not much Atmanatma Viveka here. I want high philosophy. Oh dear, if you study Vibhuti Yoga and develop a keener sense of God's glory and how we are to position ourselves, and such things like if we are arguing with somebody, what is the best and right way of arguing? Be concerned with determining the truth. Don't worry about winning or losing. If he wins, congratulate him heartily. If you win, don't be proud. Say, you and I together found the truth today. Let's both celebrate. and so on. In this way, this 32nd verse, he has so much to give us. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.